Hi there. I'm Girl Writes What. That's my online handle. I'm a blogger. I blog about masculinity, gender equality, and anti-feminism. And I wanted to do some videos just to kind of put a human face on all of the bajillions of words that I've written on these subjects. Um, Maybe a more friendly face. I tend to come across a little bit strong in my writing. It's not always what I'm trying to do. Uh, Usually I'm attempting to get the people to look at things from a different perspective, and sometimes when uh, you challenge people's worldview, you can come across a lot of intellectual dishonesty and resistance to logic and just general bullshit. And I really I really have a hard time letting that stand and not calling people on it. And when I do, I'm not always all nicey nice about it. So I did want to put a little bit of a kinder, gentler face on my online image, and I also wanted to do this because I've come across a great deal of incredulity online as to how on earth a woman could feel the way I feel about these issues. Um, a lot of accusations of being a traditionalist, like I'm some sort of neoconservative right-wing watcher of Fox News, and honestly, this is just so not me. Um, I think if my mother heard that accusation, she'd probably uh, die laughing. I'm really not any of that. I'm not some baby making, sandwich providing Michelle Duggar clone in a floral print dress, who does what she's told and says her pleases and thank yous either. I'm just not any of that. And another thing that I'm not is I'm not some rabid, frothing 40-year-old fat guy who plays WoW, lives in his mother's basement, and can't get laid and has a neck beard and smells funny, which is an accusation that gets thrown around from time to time as well. Um, what I am is a divorced mother of three. I wait tables as my day job. I write erotica for some extra cash. I I'm very anti-traditionalist. I would never be able to fit into the whole um, good girl mommy role. This is just not who I am. And why I do this, that's kind of a tough question. Um, it's difficult to answer because there's more than one reason. There's almost always more than one reason when someone will get off their ass and do something like this. Um, I suppose the first reason would be my kids. Uh, I have two sons and a daughter, and as much as I love my daughter, as much as I know she's going to make me proud because she's just incredible and amazing in so many different ways. It's really it's my sons that I worry about. My daughter is going to have about 1,000 doors open to her, um, that she can walk through and sort of define how she wants her life to work and what she wants it to look like and how she's going to succeed at that. And my sons really don't have that kind of choice at all. In fact, it almost feels like their choices are narrowing. And my daughter will have a great deal of help from society in defining her life the way she wants it. And my sons won't have any of that. They're growing up into a society that does not care about their problems, that wants them to perform, that does not see their lives as having any kind of value in and of themselves. They're going to have to provide value in order for their lives to mean anything to anyone. Um, and the price of failure for them is just going to be so much greater than it ever will be for my daughter, because we live in a society that won't allow women to fail, no matter how badly they fuck up their lives. Um, we just won't let them hit bottom. Uh, but we're happy to let men do so. So that's a big reason why I do this. And I suppose another reason would be I keep getting reminded of that webcomic, the famous one. Um, Honey, come to bed. I can't. Someone is wrong on the internet. And it sounds petty, but that is a little bit what this is about. I just I just can't wrap my head around feminism's worldview. I just can't understand how they think the way they do. This whole idea that women are on the bottom and always have been in every single area, that maleness has always been valued more than femaleness by society. Um, Even in areas where women have always had it extra good, all those seats in the lifeboat, that's just another form of oppression. And I just don't understand how people can honestly believe that. Um, I can't see how they can believe the kind of revisionist history that's been written as to what the world looked like before feminism, and even what it looks like now. Um, it's just not realistic. And as much as I'm not a traditionalist, and as much as I'm not a patriarchy supporter, um, I can't live in a dream world. I have to live here in reality. And I see what's in front of my face, and it just doesn't look anything like what feminism is trying to sell us. And basing our decisions as a society on this screwy worldview, it's just really taking us in a very it's aiming us all off of a cliff. It really is. We've we've destroyed the nuclear family. We've collectively kicked men out of the house. And what feminism has been interested in, all it really seems to have been interested in, is freeing women from any kind of patriarchal obligation to men or to society. But at the same time, to hold on to as many of their entitlements as they can. And we've pretty much not just allowed them to hold on to those entitlements, but we've allowed them to expand them. Um, and what really gets me is that not just economically, but socially and politically, in order to have a society function, you have to have people on the ground putting more in than they take out. And we've turned women into this sort of class of free agents where they have unlimited choice, and they owe nothing to anyone, nothing to anything other than personal fulfillment. And somebody has to pay for that. And feminism does not want women to have to finance these choices, either economically or socially. Um, they want somebody else to foot the bill, and this is just not sustainable, especially since uh, when we kicked men out of the house and decided that we were still going to collectively provide for and protect and help and support women and their children. We had to create these kind of superstructures above us. Um, the capital P patriarchy that feminism was always warning us about, that have only grown since they decided that they were going to start dismantling it. And those structures, they're not a charity. They're not a non-profit organization. They take a huge cut before they start trickling things back down toward women and children where we're supposedly we all want those things to go. And so these structures have had to get just absolutely huge in order to do that, and in order to extract the amount of power and money and resources out of men that are required in order to not just provide for and protect women and children, but to feed the beast above us. And it's just not sustainable. And when you think about the kind of life that means, that many men end up having, um, it really says something about the disregard we hold men in, the kind of disregard we have for their humanity, that we can do that to them, that we can chain them to that kind of obligation, without providing them any kind of benefit of choice or freedom. That you'll just do what we say, and you'll provide, and you'll be productive, and you'll put more in than you take out. When you put that kind of burden on somebody, and you don't give them a choice as to what their life is going to look like, what the world is going to look like, and how they're going to fit into it, how they're going to make their way in it. I mean, we have a word for that. We do. We have a word for obligation without freedom or choice, and that word is slavery. We're on our way there. Give it another couple decades, and that's where men will be. I mean, honestly, this is no way to treat a human being. And as more men, because they are starting to walk away, they are starting to refuse to participate, there's not going to be enough productivity on the ground to feed those structures. And as much as I hate to think about what things are going to look like, what kind of happy place we're going to be in when those structures collapse and can no longer provide for or protect women and children, I can't blame men for walking away. I can't blame them for saying, fuck this shit. You can't ask somebody to do, you can't force somebody to do that forever. They can't carry it all forever. So, honestly, I think in order to head things off, in order to preserve society, in order to have a society that can continue indefinitely instead of crashing and burning big time, we're really going to need to let men have a seat at the table. Feminism has held the podium on gender issues for at least 40 years. And they don't want to let anybody else speak. They don't want any other voices heard. And unfortunately for feminism, they're just going to have to. We have to find an equitable system. We have to find a system that works for everybody. And, you know, the half of the population that are men, it's going to have to work for them too. So, as much as I hope that men won't walk away en masse and collapse everything, if they do so, I can hardly blame them. I can't hold them in blame for that. I wouldn't stand for it either. Like, not in a million years. So why should they? So yeah, that's me. That's where I'm at. That's why I do this. That's why I write about the things that I write about. And I hope this kind of puts some of all of the speculations to rest, and makes people feel a little bit more comfortable with what I have to say. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other reasons that I do this, but I think I can tackle those one video at a time. For now, I'm going to say goodbye, and I guess I'm gonna go clean my kitchen because it kind of needs it. So, ciao.